Welcome to another episode of the Federal Church Presents Better Than Bloomberg. Now we have a nice little barometer of the cooling economy in the United States. Well, it's more of a description of the impending depression that the Federal Church has been prophesizing for the last few years, actually. You're well in. But looks like mass layoffs are happening throughout several sectors. Here's one of the latest notes from Zero Hedge. Amazon to fire 10,000 employees, largest layoff in company history. Over the past month, tech companies have laid off tens of thousands of employees, and the momentum in layoffs only appears to be worsening. And here's a little descriptor there for Twat Fest showing that, but back to the article. According to a new report via New York Times this morning, Amazon could add to the count this week as approximately 10,000 people in corporate and tech jobs will be slashed in what could be the most significant job cut in the company's history. People with direct knowledge of the layoff plan said job cuts would be focused on Amazon's devices organization, including the voice assistant Alexa, its retail division, and human resources. Can't stand any Alexa shit myself. See, it's all for the better. The total number of layoffs remains fluid, but if it stays around 10,000, that would represent roughly 3% of Amazon's corporate employees and less than 1% of its global workforce of more than 1.5 million. Well, most of its workforce is, I'm guessing, those warehouse employees, and I'm guessing that's what distinguishes them from corporate employees, which is primarily composed of hourly workers, warehouse team, and I guess the delivery team. A deteriorating macroeconomic backdrop. Again, it serves as a barometer to the slowing economy there in the U.S. But the deteriorating macroeconomic backdrop led America's second largest employer to announce a hiring freeze in early October. Read that's jobs that aren't created. So you already lost jobs, but you're also not creating new ones either. Amazon recruiters were instructed to halt all hiring for corporate roles, including tech positions, globally in its Amazon Stores business, which covers the company's retail and operations, and accounts for the bulk of Amazon's sales. By mid-October. Then in late October, the company froze hiring for its lucrative web services division, Amazon Web Services, and I think AWS is actually the only profitable part of Amazon. I think the retail side is still a loss leader. I guess it's not really a loss leader, it's just a loss. Because I don't think retail drives any customers over to AWS. People would use AWS anyway. Amazon shares pumped and dumped on today's news. Let's take a look at that chart. So it goes up to, what is that, 100, a little over 100, and then nosedive over to, what is this, 99. Amazon would become the latest tech company to reduce headcount, which there have been plenty of tech companies reducing headcount. Just in the last few months, Twatfest, Facebook parent Meta, ride-hailing company Lyft, software service firm Salesforce, payment platform Stripe, and a growing list of tech companies have announced layoffs of engineers, salespeople, and support staff. And this is from the Colby Essay letter on Twatfest, layoffs in 2022. This is an old graphics that I've just been putting up several times now. The Twatfest, 50% of workforce. Intel, 20%. Snapchat, 20%. Coinbase, 18%. I guess that's better than FTX at 100%. Meta, 13%. Redfin, 13%. Very entertaining. There'll be a video on Redfin's, implosion in their foray into flipping houses. I think those were most of the 13% reduction in force there. Credit Suisse 5%, Goldman 3%, Microsoft 1%, and Amazon currently hiring freeze like it described, and Apple hiring freeze. The layoffs are now spreading beyond tech. It does feel a little like 2000. Lisa, or lease buyer, a tech analyst, executive investor, recently told the Washington Post. The tsunami of layoffs comes after Silicon Valley peaked last year. Since then, the NYSE FANG Plus Index, a basket of tech stocks with Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Alphabet's Google, has collapsed 42% from the 2021 peak. You have to excuse me, some medication there with the stumbling there. And there's the FANG Index going down until the Federal Reserve pivots, which it can't because they're just tie off inflation. The ripple effect of aggressive monetary tightening will lead to even more layoffs in Silicon Valley. And even if they do pivot, you're still going to die from inflation. And that is it for this episode of The Federal Church Presents Better Than Bloomberg.